Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are unpacking some absolutely massive news that just hit the AI space. Literally, right on the heels of a major corporate rebrand, a brand new model has dropped. It's Grok 4.5, and it is making some serious waves by going head-to-head with Claude Opus, promising immense capability at a mere fraction of the price.
Think about this for a second. A coding model that costs 60% less than Claude Opus and is already free to use. Now, if you're running a business, doing freelance dev work, or honestly just looking to optimize your daily data workflow, a 60% cost reduction? Yeah, that's the kind of hook that makes you drop everything and pay attention.
Okay, let's dive into this. To cut through all the hype, here's our roadmap. We're going to cover the rebrand and release, a pricing and performance breakdown, where to use it today, testing it for yourself, and finally the catch, the honest limitations.
First up, Section 1, the rebrand and release. So here's what actually went down behind the scenes to clear up any corporate confusion. Back on February 2nd, 2026, SpaceX announced an all-stock acquisition of XAI. We're talking about a massive deal valuing the combined company near $1.25 trillion. Fast forward to July 6th, and XAI officially completes its rebrand to SpaceXAI, taking its place as a subsidiary of SpaceX. And then, just 2 days later on July 8th, boom, Grok 4.5 officially launches. Now, it's important to note the Grok chatbot itself kept its name. It's really just the parent company structure that shifted.
1.5 trillion. That is a massive number, right? We're talking about the parameter scale of this new model, codenamed V9, running under the hood. Just to put that into perspective for you, training a model this large requires tens of thousands of NVIDIA GPUs running nonstop. The computational horsepower behind this release is simply incredible. So this isn't just some generic chatbot update. It's a powerful, purpose-built engine specifically for coding and agentic work.
But you know, hardware, that's really only half the story here. The actual secret sauce is in the training data, specifically cursor data. During its supplemental training phase, SpaceXAI mixed in trillions of tokens of real developer and AI agent interaction traces. This means the model wasn't just fed static, boring examples of good code. Instead, it learned from how people actually use Cursor's coding assistant day to day. It learned how an agent investigates a bug, how it effectively uses tools, how it recovers when it makes a mistake, and how it verifies its own work. Basically, it learned the actual real-world human behavior of problem solving.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Pricing and Performance Breakdown.
Now, what's really interesting about this math is that when we look at the API token pricing per million tokens, the contrast is completely stark. Grok 4.5 comes in at just $2 for input and $6 for output. It even offers a 50-cent rate for cached input tokens. Now compare that to Claude Opus 4.8, you're looking at $5 for input and a hefty $25 for output. This objectively verifies that 60% cost reduction claim compared to Opus 4.8 and GPT 5.5 on a like-for-like basis. Seriously, it's a staggering price drop for frontier-level output. But let's be real, a steep discount means absolutely nothing if the model can't actually deliver. Well, it scores highly on Terminal Bench and SWE Bench Pro, which measure real command line problem solving and verified GitHub issue fixes. But here is the major takeaway. On the Independent AI Index, while Grok 4.5 ranks 4th overall among all frontier models, it outright wins first place specifically for agentic tool use. It is highly specialized and just completely dominant in that specific lane. And it's not just about those standard benchmarks either. According to Cursor's own integration data, Grok 4.5 solves multi-step coding tasks in under half the steps that comparable frontier models need. Why? Because it was heavily trained on those exact interaction traces we talked about earlier. It just gets straight to the point, less wandering around, fewer corrections, and ultimately a highly efficient workflow that's going to save developers immense amounts of time. Next up, Section 3, where to use it today. So, the really great news? Grok 4.5 is live today in 4 distinct places. Grok Build, inside Cursor on every single plan, the SpaceXAI API, and remarkably right inside Microsoft Office add-ins for Word, Excel, and Outlook. And the absolute best part of all this, SpaceXAI is offering free usage for a limited time in Grok Build and Cursor. If you have an account for literally any reason at all, you can point it at Grok 4.5 today at 0 additional cost and compare it directly against whatever model you're currently paying for. Now, if you are not a developer, definitely pay close attention here, because the Office add-in angle really matters.
You might be a solo consultant or running a small agency using AI in Word or Excel. You don't necessarily need that expensive, heavy Opus-level reasoning for high-volume repetitive data work. Instead, Grok 4.5's tool calling is cheaper, it's faster, and it's often a significantly better fit for repetitive drafting, data cleanup, or formula building. It handles the specific tasks it is good at with incredible speed and efficiency.
Which brings us to Section 4, testing it for yourself.
So, the crucial point is figuring out if this actually works for you. Here is a quick, actionable 3-step framework to evaluate it. Step 1, take a recurring task you currently pay an AI to do. Step 2, run it side by side through Grok 4.5 while it's still free in Cursor or Grok Build. Step 3, compare the results and calculate the token cost. This is exactly how you find out if this model translates to real business savings for your specific workflow.
Finally, Section 5, the catch. Honest limitations. Okay, time for a reality check. Let's look at the core trade-offs. When it comes to general intelligence and raw coding accuracy, Grok 4.5 still trails behind Claude Opus 4.8 and Claude Fable 5. However, where it truly shines is agentic specialization. It wins specifically on speed, cost, and agentic tool-using tasks. It's so vital to understand that Grok 4.5 is a blazingly fast specialist. It is not the objectively smartest general coder on the market today. There are also a few critical limitations to keep in mind. First, Elon Musk's performance claims, they came from private, internal SpaceX and Tesla testing. And we all know to take internal tech benchmarks with a grain of salt until they're independently audited, right? Second, that highly specialized cursor data means it might actually struggle with vastly different coding styles or languages outside that specific training distribution. Third, SpaceXAI's corporate structure was finalized merely days before launch. And lastly, that free usage window, it is strictly temporary, with no published end date, so the clock is absolutely ticking. All right, let's wrap all this up. Grok 4.5 isn't a flat-out better overall model than Claude Opus 4.8, but it is a cheaper, faster specialist that excels at tool-using coding tasks. The price is just so exceptionally low that testing it costs you almost nothing right now. If your business relies on recurring coding or document automation, it is absolutely worth 10 minutes of your time to do a comparison today while it's still free. If you want the honest breakdown on every major AI launch, clearing up the hype from the reality and showing you what it actually costs, be sure to subscribe to stay updated. Now, I want to leave you with this final thought to consider. Do you jump on the cheaper new model right away to start saving costs immediately, or do you wait and let someone else find the bugs first? Let me know, and thanks for joining me on this explainer.